Ukrainian Army's 7th Regiment commander, Laschuk, did not expect to bring his own troops head-on into the Russian Army's well-arranged trap. The gate of Lyman has been opened, and 110,000 Russian troops are waiting for them to break in. The command from the Ukrainian commander, Sergei, is like a fire, ordering the 7th Regiment to support Lyman and defend the surrounding villages. But the fact is, the main force of this unit is not being targeted on other battlefields. In Lashuk's hands, aside from a few outdated pieces of equipment, there are only a few drones left. The battle has not been fought yet, but the outcome seems set. The Russian army has paid a lot of attention to this, bringing in the main forces of the Central and Eastern military districts, the 2nd Regiment, the 35th Regiment, the 41st Regiment, plus special units and the 255th Drone Unit. It's obvious that they are planning a war of decimation here. The cannons, tanks, rockets, and other heavy equipment alone are overwhelming. The defense line of the Ukrainian army is like paper in the face of the Russian army's firepower. Especially in the direction northeast of Lyman, the 41st and 51st Regiments of the Russian army have been engaged. The 2nd Regiment of the Southern City Army and the 5th Regiment of the Ukrainian Army are also on their way. The 142nd, 153rd, and 38th Marine Corps regiments are also ready. But against the Russian regular army, these Ukrainian troops don't even have enough ammunition. What's more ridiculous is that the latest support force sent to block the gap is a joke. The 28th Security Regiment from the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, the 29th from the Khmelnytskyi nuclear power plant, and the 1st Security Regiment of the National Guard. How can a security team with only light weapons block a Russian motorized group army? As expected, the Russian army's breakthrough in the west has proven this. The Ukrainian 155th Regiment didn't even have the strength to resist, and the line was torn wide open. The battle for Lyman is no longer a simple defense issue for Ukraine. It is a matter of political survival for Zelensky's administration. He has long been unappreciated by certain factions. If Lyman is lost, the opposition will not hesitate to attack him politically. At that time, no matter how reluctant Zelensky is, he may be forced out. So Ukraine is now fighting desperately to defend Lyman. But the problem is that Putin and Gerasimov have already seen through this. The Russian tactics are simple and crude: to surround the city and lure Ukrainian forces into a kill box. The Ukrainian troops are constantly rushing in, but the Russian army is waiting for them to squeeze into this pocket before unleashing their firepower. They are finding targets for 100 FAB-500 guided bombs a day. With that kind of bombardment, not to mention defenses, even a mouse hole can be blown up. What's worse is that the Russian army has now upgraded its UAVs to drop thermobaric bombs directly into underground shelters, leaving the Ukrainian army with nowhere to hide. Now the situation in Lyman is that whoever can't hold on first will lose. The Ukrainian army's defense line is exposed, and its reserve forces are almost exhausted. As long as the Russian army works harder, Lyman will sooner or later fall. But the question is there really a chance for Ukraine to turn the tables? Zelensky threw all of his last mobile reserve teams here, and it turned out to be self-defeating. What Putin really wants is not just Lyman, but to completely break the resistance of the Ukrainian army. This battle is no longer a military duel, but a psychological war. The Ukrainian army has to jump in, even though it knows it's a trap, because once Lyman is lost, the entire defense line of Ukraine in the area will collapse, and the Russian army is going to cut off its last breath. Lyman is destined to be a death trap.